Hey, welcome YouTubers. I just flipped the switch. If you are checking in live on YouTube, maybe the algorithm brought you to a yoga class because you like the idea of feeling better. Or you're one of my very good friends on Zoom checking in. Welcome. We do simulcast from Pleasant Hill, California, just outside in the East Bay, just outside of the Bay Area, where it's terribly hot here today. Up there goes my air conditioner, just keeps popping off. The circuit gets overloaded. Anyway, that's why you see a fluctuation in the lighting. Relax on your back, take a load off. If you see me disappear for moments, it's my desperate attempt to turn the circuit breaker back on. Here comes Looney. He's hot and kind of crabby because he has a big black fur coat on, but some cat treats should help him feel better. Wiggle your legs out. I trust your air conditioning is working well and I'm happy. I'm going to share in your happiness. There's a Buddhist word for sharing in other people's happiness. It's called mudita. And when we can be happy with other people's happiness, then we're not just limited to our own restricted ability. I'm not a Buddhist per se, but I'm highly, highly inclusive and universalist when it comes to your particular avenue to God, love, source. I think all roads lead to the highest good. I think God is planted deep in all of our hearts and gives each and every one of us the proper and appropriate path to come back. So whatever your path is, you're welcome, and it's led to this moment right here. God bless you. Maybe swallow once and circle your jaw around. Hey, welcome if you're just getting in. It's 6:07 p.m. That's the live time of this class. If you're watching it recorded, it's whenever it is, obviously. But anyway, we have 3 more minutes on the back, and it's a terribly hot day on this day that we're filming, and so we're going to do some very low to the ground and some good restorative yoga to keep our minds cool and to chill out. Easy does it. Find your breath. If you've been in the class for a few moments, please direct your breathing down to your belly button. That's a cooling kind of breath, isn't it? To ventilate more of our body, not just our sinuses. Feel what you're feeling right now. Catch up with yourself. Practice the yoga principle of samtosha, contentment, acceptance of exactly the way that it is right now. Whatever the circumstances are on the outside, on the inside, we all know deep at the core of our being, whether we know it or not, or when we do, that there's something that is unshakable, imperturbable, infinite, inexhaustible, and glorious if we can but find it. Okay, good job. Big old inhale. Inhale as much as you can. Exhale, release it all out, empty out. Be a calm, peaceful soul. It's good to pull the plug on our mind, body, vessel from time to time. Drain your brain. Good, now gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Circulate some feel good, some life force, some prana, some chi, some mojo, some cosmic spirit through yourself. Good, extend your arms up to the ceiling. Gently extend your arms back up over your head, a mild full body stretch. Find some of that first thing in the morning when it's cool, stretchy feeling. Goofy grin on your face. Kitty, 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 kitty. Good, draw your knees in, roll around a little bit on your back, and consider going both ways, a little this way and a little that way. Good, and let's sit up together and we'll issue Wednesday midweek super hot salutations to one another. Hey, welcome. It's Greg and Looney Cat. He was on camera a few moments ago. He's retired to the one room in the house that has a portable air conditioner. The air conditioner, the fan, and the lighting and all the electricity is out in this room in my house. I keep getting up and flipping the switch back on. This old house just can't take it. So I've given up. I'm powerless over the electricity in my house. It'll come back when it does. In the meantime, if it seems a little darker, hey, maybe that's a good thing on a hot day. So I'm just going to sit here and do some yoga with my friends. Anyway, hands to our heart. Acceptance is the answer to all of our problems. Once we accept things as they are, they can then change. And there's so much good to be thankful for. It's literally immeasurable. God, love, source, infinite, higher organizing love. Give us just the practice we need this night. May wisdom, love, and light be infused in each and every participant. Om, amen. Good. All right. Brief joint juice, and then I'm serious. I'm doing restorative with you guys tonight. Shoulders, 1, 2, 3, 4. This heat can be, what the word is, enervating, isn't it? Even if you're in an air-conditioned house, there's a part of us that just can feel the heat. And so we have cooling movement. We have yin yoga. Yin means cool. It's one of its definitions. Other way, 1, 2, 4, 5. Sure is good to see you guys, my Zoom friends and all you YouTubers spreading around the world. Yoga peace practice is spreading around the world. The world really needs it. And you're helping. Inhale up. So thanks for liking and subscribing if you haven't yet. Arms out, behind your back, up your back, and a cooling poof. We'll do a set of these. I like the rhythmic. To me, it's almost a hypnotic, if not intoxicating movement. There's one thing I love. It's to be intoxicated and hypnotized. It's just, I have to be careful with that, so I have to do it unadulterated. One more. And since I'm not really an adult yet anyway, it's good to be unadulterated. Arms out. Good. And bring them down. Very nice. Drop your chin. Take your head around. 1, 2. You can stop thinking if you want. Everything's working out. All things work together for good for those who love good or God. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Other way. 1, 2. Oh, I'm liking this practice tonight. We worked really hard on Monday if you were here, and my dogs are still barking from that. There's one thing my cat doesn't like. It's when my dogs are barking. 7. And relax your head down for 20 seconds. What does it feel like to be you? You're a unique, one of a kind, one in a trillion universal nerve ending. What's your experience? God needs each and every one of us. We're a unique perspective on this universe. Man, that felt good. All right. I'm backing up a little bit. I need a skosh more room, as they say. Now my arms are out, my palms are up, and I'm leaning forward into my palms. If your hands don't go flat backwards like this, don't worry about it. Most people's don't. But do drop your chin. Let the back of your neck stretch. Now I like making cooling ujjayi sound. To me, it sounds like an air conditioner inside of my head, a ceiling fan, both of which are out in my living room. So I'm going to turn the internal air conditioner and ceiling fan on with my ujjayi breathing. Soft, whispery sound at the back of my throat. No rush tonight. I've been doing this with my hands since my teacher started me doing it 25 years ago, and my hands don't come all the way down. They may not ever, and I'm still gonna overwhelm the gates of heaven. I'm gonna get in there somehow. Okay, that is sufficient. Lift up your heavy wings, internal, external, in, out. This gets a little bit of air moving, in and out, in, out. Good, now all the in you got, arms behind your back. Now you may not be able to get your back of your hands up in your armpits like this. It's okay if you can't, it's okay if you can. Do drop your chin, and some people can touch their elbows together, most of us cannot. Be that as it may, just this gives your wrists the other stretch. It has a formal name, it's called palmar flexion, and most people have lost a good deal of it. But if you're a yogi, you needn't lose anything. There's nothing of value that needs to ever be lost if you are of proper spiritual alignment. If we lose something, it's only the harbinger of something great coming into our life. That's a hard lesson to learn. One door closes, the other one opens, but we all know that's true now. If we could only live from one door, we'd be metaphysically constrained, and that's not the truth. Okay, take pause out and roly-poly guacamoles. Otra dirección, for my amigos who hablan español. Whew. Shake it out. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's I got this thing I got from Amazon. It's these little temperature things around 87 degrees. It's not that bad. Have you ever lived in somewhere where before there was air conditioning or there was no air conditioning? Cup your hands at your heart, drop your chin, close your eyes. Part of the strategy is just to keep our exertion appropriate for the moment. Humans are very smart animals. Our bodies know what to do. Our minds oftentimes don't. Are you saying my body's smarter than I am? That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, little baby forward fold, and then we're moving right into restorative yoga. Now, when I come forward, my butt kind of pushes back, kind of when you do a reclining chair, if something comes up, something goes down, kind of. Spine is long, shoulders are relaxed, chin is dropped, eyes are closed, hair is soft, countenance is peaceful, spirit is joyful. Yoga, spiritual practice, gives us that 70,000 foot perspective. We can see so much more. Problems are seen in their proper perspective. None are seen to be larger than spirit itself. Feels like it sometimes, huh? Can't make the rent payment, somebody's sick, seems like the end of the world. And I think that's when we pray, huh? We meet something greater than ourselves that's going to annihilate us. And then we remember to refer to all power. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, deepen. Now, one thing I've learned is you don't have to wait till the S hits the fan before you do that. You can actually pray in advance. Good, mitten cats, come on up. Good, place thy mitts behind you, and I'm going to rocket my bunnage up for funnage. Ooh, oh, tight and stretchy, lift up. Okay, do come down. All right, now before we do the next movement, we get on our back for some restorative. I do want to just wag my knees a little bit. I've always found this kind of cooling. It can get a little jammed up south of the border. It gets hot. Just want to cool off a little. Okay, that's sufficient. Now I have to get these uneaten cat treats out of the way. They're going to go over here. Now, I really hope you enjoy this next sequence. It's always been one of my favorites when I'm really hot and bothered and it's hot and sticky outside. But this one where we get on our back and put the block underneath our butt, to me is the epitome of yin and restorative. So this is the one where I know you guys have a yoga block. If you don't, get a damn yoga block. These foam ones are the best. Get big ones. But we're just going to do bridge pose. I like the idea of a bridge because it spans over the bay where it's cooler. If it's 100 here, it's probably maximum 78 degrees in the city, maybe cooler, maybe even cold. I've driven from Walnut Creek many times, left when it was over 100, went through the Caldecott Tunnel, and ended up freezing to death in the western edition of San Francisco. Anyway, we're just going to do bridge pose with our behind lifted. There'll be a sequence to this that will give us strength and flexibility and abdominal strength and a host of benefits. But the first benefit is just the benefit of being on your back and this little bit of pressure on the back of our neck with our buns lifted. Relax, feet are flat, about hip distance apart. And it's okay tonight to just take time. I like this pose. I get to look up at my vaulted, looks like redwood plank ceiling, and there's all these, it's beautiful wood. It has all the knots and the whorls of beautiful wood, and they all look like galaxies spread out across the universe. So I'm going to space out on that. And we'll be here for about 2 minutes. Believe it or not, just this 4 or 5 inch lift of your hips has wonderful physiological benefits. As the move progresses, we can direct our breathing more down toward our belly button. Make a meditation out of the rise and the fall of your belly button. Now, while we're doing nothing, the manager of the universe is operating the whole universe. What's old-fashioned religious language? God is on the throne. I'm perfectly happy with that language, but some people need different language. But the universe is operating in complete coherence, intelligence, managing all details, and we don't have to do that sometimes. Okay, biggest inhale you got. Exhale, let it all go. Good, now the next part is, because your hips are so nicely supported, your knees come in till your knees are on top of your hips and your legs go up. Now, if you're new to yoga, you may have a hard time getting your legs up, and that's okay. You can just do it for a moment and then rest back where we were. After a while, your body will gain strength and resilience, and your legs can stay up for a longer period of time. Our estimated time of acceptance of this pose is about 2 minutes. It's one of the very best. Humans have been doing this for a very long time. Don't be rigid, but don't be slack either. It's this beautiful combination of sufficient firmness to hold the pose, but sufficient relaxation to enjoy it, to receive it, to allow it. Breathe from your belly. We add the tincture of time. Often, for many people, strange as it may seem, doing nothing is way harder than working hard. So it's actually a practice to do nothing and to turn over the results of the universe to something greater than ourselves. 30 more seconds. Now the next one, where the legs split out to the side, again, can be confronting and very difficult. So maybe if you're brand new, your legs go out for a moment, you say yikes, and you just bring your feet down and you get a little stronger. Otherwise, I like this one on hot days when my ceiling fan is working. It blows cool air along the inseam of my legs. But in the meantime, I'm just going to do this. And I always exercise my ankles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to be in this personally for 1 more minute because of the extraordinary strength and healing and resilience benefits to my lower body from this. If this exhausts you and you need a break, just be honest with yourself. You might be stronger than you think you are. In fact, I know that you're stronger than you think you are because we all are. And now just bend your knees first, then squeeze your knees back in together. Good, now with your knees bent, how much can you bring your knees in toward your chest? We're not straightening the legs. We're keeping the knees bent. This is one of my favorite recovered poses from the archives. This upside down squat. It's very safe, and yet it's active in the most subtle way. Ideally, the knees would not separate, but if they do, it's understandable. We'd want to keep a nice flex of the ankles, but there's a very much support, a connection between the hips and the block. The hips do not lift. This keeps the perfect angles of the spine as well, very important. Good, now just take your left leg up to the ceiling with your right knee in. It's kind of like you're bicycling, huh? Now, you may not be able to lace over your right knee. That's okay. You could lace under it, or you could just leave it there. But whatever you can do, I can lace over my right knee. Holding on to my right knee, I'm going to slowly drift my left leg down to my piano bench, which I forgot was there. so I don't kick it. And now as my left leg comes down, my right knee wants to move away from my body. So I'm performing extension. I'm holding and bringing my right knee while I'm letting my left leg relax down to the floor. Okay? I bet you feel this one. Now, most of us can't put our left foot flat all the way on the floor. It's not necessary, but if you can do it, it's just a good sign that your range of motion is strong. I would need somebody to step on my left foot to get it all the way down. And my teacher back in the day was more than happy to step on me in a variety of ways. Breathe, get what you need. Taking our time tonight. It's a darn good pose, I think. Good. Now switch the lace of your hands underneath your right calf. In other words, over your right hamstring instead, such that you could straighten your right leg out a little bit. You'd have to be a real contortionist circus performer to fully straighten your right leg, but the left foot stays down. And this is a pretty deep stretch, but it's being done yin style. My right leg does not look like it straightens. That's the shape of my bones. I was not given good line. I would have been rejected from the Bolshoi when I was young, but I am super grateful for my body, such as it is. Thank you, God, for exactly the way you designed me. Good. Now rebend your right knee. Please to bring your left knee back in along for the ride. Now, whatever you was lacing over your left knee, do it over your right knee. This includes the easier lacing, right leg up, and right leg drifts down. It might be dicey to bring your right leg all the way down whilst you're holding on to your left knee. That's why it's yoga, but it's done patiently and slowly. Wow, that really gets my hip flexor on my right leg, the front of it. Now, as my right leg goes down, my left knee wants to pull away from me, but I actually draw it in. Right foot flat on the floor if God made you to do it. Hold here. Relax your shoulders, drop your chin, relax your throat. This goes deep into our lower back muscles, spinal decompression, releasing the front structure of our body to our hip flexors, things that can become very tight that ultimately do lead to sore lower back syndrome. So this is a good one. Plus you feel it sinking in more deeply over time, don't you? Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Now I'm going to switch the lace over my left hamstring so my knee is not constrained. And to the degree that I can straighten out my left leg, I can. You could reach up and grab your left toe if you wanted and straighten your left leg, but that is out of the league of most of us. And you're just gently drawing the left leg over, gently exerting the right leg down. Now on the sensation scale, this is not a 10 for me by any means, but it's a solid 7. It's very steady. I can breathe into it. It's got my attention, and it's getting my tension. Good. Now just bring both knees back in. With your knees in, just bend your knees and upside down baby pose. Knees, we'd have to be a contortionist for our knees to come down. Our shins are pointed straight up. We might say that our legs are goalposts and the field goal kicker is going to kick a touchdown right through our crotch. Your feet are flat. You could catch a baby in each foot. You could grab your knees and pull them in, but the booty cheeks do not lift from the buns. Good groin crease here, huh? I agree. Now legs back up a ceiling. Good 1 minute of Viparita Karani. We keep some variety for health, and just legs straight up is so good for breath, circulation, seeing life from a different angle. Good, now widen out gently and then cross your left thigh over your right thigh like a sewing machine person. Strong cross. And then for you bendy bears, when you bend your knees, your left ankle will go underneath. Now that's my goal in 6 months, is I lose about 30 pounds, but not yet. Now my right foot's going to come down to the floor. These are all my new favorite hot weather air conditioner broken poses. And now just steep in the pose. S-T-E-E-P. Steep in this prayer of your body. Whew, do I need my yin yoga on Wednesdays? I'm going to rename Wednesday to Yin's Day. And I just thought of that, which shows what happens when your brain is cooked, the amazing, weird, and wonderful ideas that come. Happy Yin's Day. Can't believe I haven't thought of that before. There's so many thoughts we haven't thought of before. Isn't that cool? We're just one God thought away from a complete transformation of our life, as long as we act on it. Faith without works is dead. Now, I don't want you to do an om. I don't believe in oming when we're on the back. But on your own, you could do a big inhale and just, you could relax and say, ah, that's a nice one. Ah. It's okay to relax every now and then. It's okay to take your God hat off. Let God be God. What are the first 4 words of the Bible? Do you remember? Do you remember? Just the first 4 words. In the beginning, God. Not in the beginning, me. Good, now bring your knees in. Extend your leggies up. Good job. Widen out to stretch your underparts. Good, now cross your righty thigh over your lefty thigh like a sewing machine. Bend your knees. You bendy bears, right ankle under because you never couldn't do it. I'm going to be excited to do it. And let's really let your left foot down slow. Oh, oh, oh. Ah, ha, ha. Nice. I am digging this long stretch of the back of my neck. It's good for your glands, your thyroid. It's good to have your brain upside down so the front of your brain dissolves into the back of your brain. We don't have to figure everything out. I don't think we can. I think primarily the presence and the love and the power and the glory of being itself is a mystery. known only by the mind of you-know-who. I'm just grateful to have been invited to the party. Challenging though it is from time to time, but we're always caught up in an upward sweep. If we cooperate. This one goes so many layers deep. I'm very much like a Russian nested doll with lots of layers, and my deep layers are oftentimes inaccessible or so tight or locked or habituated that I know that God is bringing me layer by layer into deeper parts of my being. Good, biggest inhale ever. Exhale, release. Good, now bring your crossed knees in. Uncross your knees. Knees in upside down squatting pose, but do not lift your hips. Keep your butt leveraged on the block. Knees in, knees together. Surprisingly powerful pose. Now this with 5 or 6 sandbags would be ecstasy, but we may not have other people to do that for us, so this is fine. Okay, now legs back up. One more reprise of 1 minute of Viparita Karani for its extraordinary health benefits. This pose heals everything. It cures what ails you. Okay, this is my favorite new pose from the archives, and this is the one where my legs jackknife over my body. I do not lift my hips. There's a yoga pose called Halasana. It's plow pose, and it's the one where your hips lift a little and your legs come all the way down and your toes touch the floor and your butt is up. And that's a beautiful pose for those at that phase of their development. This is the pose for the rest of us. It gives you all the benefits of Paschimottanasana, or many of them, the good overall systematic stretch of the back of your legs. It's very supportive of your lower back. It's an inversion. It protects the proper curves of your spine. It's just a damn good yoga pose. D, G, Y, P. This is a D, G, Y, P. You might feel a slow release. Some of my bendier friends, Helga, Gisela, Karen, Kristen, a lot of my good friends who are very flexible, their legs really fold deeply over their body. Okay, legs back up, bend your knees, bring your feet down slowly to the floor. And the last pose of this sequence is when your feet come flat, stretch your legs out all the way. Now, the arm positions are optional. Arms out to the side. Arms out to the side, forearms parallel like a cactus. That's 2. 3 is elbows way back over my head. 4 is crossing my wrists way up over my head and then crossing my ankles. And I got to tell you, this version goes way deep into my abdominal wall. I feel a real deep stretch of my rectus abdominis, my transverse. But it might be too strong if you extend your arms all the way. So that's why I mentioned the alternatives. This is Yin Yoga at its finest. Now, don't like and subscribe yet, but because you are liking this so much, the first chance you get, please like and subscribe. It's spreading this much needed yoga all over the world. I'm on a mission from God. We all are, so are you. Good, now I'm going to switch the cross of my wrists and the cross of my ankles. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now I just need my cat to go to sleep on my belly, a little 15 pounds right at my, just south of my navel stem. Oh man. Okay, arms back down by the side of our body. Withdraw your feety pies back in. Press into your feet to lift bunnage. Extract blockage from out of wayage. And then slowly let bunnage down. Oh my. Oh my. Good, now feet together, knees butterfly out to the side for cooling. I'm going cactus arms, and I'm just going to I'm going to have the cosmic car wash just run me through the car wash of cool water. Let those scrubbers scrub the whole front of my body. That's weird, I know. Oh, I'm as happy as I can be legally. This is good. But all good things come to an end, so better things can replace it. Squeeze your knees back together. That's an interesting new way of saying it, isn't it? We're all familiar with all good things come to an end. We all know that, right? As we sit back up. But you know why all good things come to an end? Because oftentimes good is the enemy of the best, and the good has got to clear out so the better can come in. Now, the hallways while you're waiting can be challenging, but that's when we build faith. Okay, now we're going to conclude with a restorative position. Yes. And that one is going to be get these blankets out of the way for the time being. Now, all I'm going to do, I'm going to put one or two blocks. I have really big blocks, so that works for me. That inclines like that. Ultimately, that's going to support my neck. And penultimately, next to last, these are going to support my legs. This is Queen for a Day pose. So now I'm sliding in here. You can see how obviously I'm going to be able to lean back on that thing behind me. Now, I've got pretty open legs, and so my knees can widen out to the side. But for demo purposes, demonstration purposes, I'm going to put a rolled up taquito underneath my right leg, and I'm going to put a rolled up burrito. It sounds like I'm fasting and I'm thinking about food, but nope. So now my knees are supported. If you're tight as a boiled owl, you push these way in and your knees won't drop very far. And then I just lean back, and this is tied for first of all of my favorite yoga poses in the solar system. Okay. Now, my karmic dispensation is a very sharp, protruding tailbone. I think I still have most of my vestigial tail. So I'm going to lift my coccyx and slide the blankets underneath my butt a little more. And then I have one of my favorite feelings, which is floaty tailbone. OMG. I would give $1,000, but I don't have to. Floaty tailbone, relaxed groinage. My elbows and shoulders open out as my elbows drop. And I am just happy. We're doing this one. This is the whole rest of the class. This pose lasts 10 minutes. If your legs fatigue, you can always just stretch your legs out and go into floating in my pool lounge chair pose. But to the degree that you can, your knees widening out will become an acquired taste, and it will become nothing less than sumptuous. Bye. I'm still here, but I'm doing the pose with you. Give yourself permission to let God be God. In the beginning, God, Shiva, Krishna, Yahweh, Adonai. God doesn't care what we call her. She just really likes it when we do call. Big inhale. Pose starts now. It doesn't end now, it starts. Now we got about 3, 4 more really happy minutes. And if you did groove on extending your legs out for a pool lounge chair, you could do it. And if you're just in intergalactic cosmic unicorn ecstasy with your knees wide, why not just stay there? Now, yours truly is going to stretch his legs out. I'm going to float on my pool in my uh, infinite pool out over Bel Air, looking out over the skyscrapers. Just floating down the river of life. We picked up the oars. We realized the current of life is going faster than we can row, and it's really far more important to simply align than it is to paddle. I've been paddled enough, thank you. This is a this is a DGYP. This is a damn good yoga pose. But now, kids, it's the top of the hour, as we say in the media. So we're going to sit up nice and slow. And the power's still out in my living room. The lighting is dim. I think it's kind of romantic. After this, I'll go flip the switch, get some ceiling fan and some air conditioner. But I have truly enjoyed the class tonight. And as always, in a group, both YouTubers and Zoomers and yours truly and Yoga Cat, we all bring our paws into our heart. And we remember that if you go deep into me, sorry, if you go deep into you, I'm very, very hot. If you go deep into you and I go deep into me and we go deep into we come to the same place together. Yogis call that namaste. Okay, you YouTubers watching all over the world, I'm so grateful for your presence. And could you do me a huge favor? I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to ask. Could you do me a huge favor? Like and subscribe. I know every YouTuber says that. And do it for me because you're spreading love, light, and truth all the way around the world. And that's a good thing. So thank you for doing that. And we'll see all of you next time. I have 3 powerful ladies on the